Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Pain is a sign of progress. I know that sounds strange. Nobody likes pain. But if you're serious about evolving, you have to learn to love it, not in a masochistic way, but as a signal that growth is trying to happen. When I was younger, I made mistakes that nearly cost me everything. I made a bad bet that wiped me out. I had to borrow money just to pay the bills. It was humiliating. But here's the thing. That pain became my teacher. It forced me to ask hard questions, reflect deeply, and ultimately reshape how I approach decision-making. Without that pain, I would have never built Bridgewater into what it is today. I have a simple formula I live by. Pain plus reflection, progress. Pain alone is just suffering. But pain that's examined, pain that you reflect on honestly and without ego, becomes insight. And that insight helps you improve. If you run away from discomfort, you run away from the very thing that wants to make you better. Think about it. When you go to the gym, your muscles grow not because it's easy, but because you push them past their comfort zone. It's the same with your mind, your emotions, your work, your relationships. Discomfort is the mechanism by which we stretch our boundaries. The biggest mistake people make is seeing pain as failure. But that's a flawed perspective. In truth, failure is a step forward, if you take the time to understand it. Most people get emotionally hijacked when they're hurt or embarrassed. They get defensive. They blame others. And so they miss the lesson. Don't do that. When something hurts, ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? What weakness in me is being exposed? Where did my thinking go wrong? This is what I've built my entire life on. Radical truth and radical transparency. You've got to look at reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. That includes your own flaws, your blind spots, your biases. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. Because growth doesn't come from pretending you're already great. It comes from seeing clearly where you're not. Every painful experience contains a principle, a blueprint, a lesson. But you have to slow down, reflect, and be honest enough to learn it. Do that over and over again, and you'll develop what I call a principled life. A life where you're not reacting emotionally to every bump in the road, but instead using each bump to get better. So next time you feel pain, don't just try to numb it or run from it. Stop, breathe, reflect, because that pain is progress, trying to speak to you. And if you're smart enough to listen, you'll become someone who doesn't just survive. You'll evolve.